Marlowe, Idaho, was the kind of town that felt untouched by time. With just under 3,000 residents, it thrived on routine, gossip, and familiarity. People left their doors unlocked. Kids biked past rows of rustling pine trees. And everyone knew Lucy Harper. At 23, Lucy was the beating heart of the Hollow Tavern. Beautiful, warm, and whip-smart, she had a way of making even the loneliest patron feel seen. After a rough separation from her high school sweetheart, Tom Harper, Lucy was finally rediscovering herself. But all of that unraveled the night she vanished. It was a crisp Friday evening in early October, when Lucy worked her usual closing shift. She left no note, no warning. Her car was still parked behind the bar. Her apartment was untouched. Her phone, lifeless on the kitchen counter. At first, people assumed she'd gone off the grid, maybe to escape the shadows of her messy breakup. But anyone who knew Lucy knew she wouldn't just disappear. Sheriff Walter Maynard, a stoic, by-the-book lawman who had served the town for decades, quickly turned to the most obvious suspect, Tom Harper. Estranged, angry, emotionally volatile. The kind of man who couldn't let go. Tom admitted he'd stopped by the bar that night to talk to Lucy. A final plea for reconciliation, he said, but claimed she told him to leave, and that he did. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no witnesses, but something about Tom's eyes, the haunted look, the sleepless stare, kept the suspicion alive. Maynard leaned into it. He'd seen this before. Girl leaves, boy snaps, small town left stunned. But Deputy Sara Wells wasn't convinced. Sara had grown up in Marlowe. She'd known Lucy since she was a teenager. Used to babysit her even. She couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just a domestic case gone bad. There was something off. Then Lucy's roommate, Emma, gave Sara a piece of the puzzle no one had considered. She'd been acting strange, Emma said. Said someone was following her. But she didn't think it was Tom. She was researching something. Old books. Symbols. It creeped me out. Sara followed the thread. Lucy's journal revealed pages of scribbled notes, cryptic sketches of runes, eerie local legends, clippings of past disappearances. A young girl in 1956, a boy in 1978. All vanished in the fall, all around the equinox. At first, it looked like a descent into paranoia. But Sara dug deeper, pulling old town records, church registries, dusty archives no one had touched in years. And then she found it. A faded entry in a century-old pastor's diary. The hollowing must be fed. One must be chosen, pure, radiant, beloved. Only then will the curse sleep. Beneath it, in newer handwriting, Lucy Harper, 2025. Sara's breath caught. The pattern was chilling. Every 21 years, someone disappeared. Always someone young. Always beloved. And always buried. The sheriff brushed it off as folklore. Witchcraft. Old world scare tactics, he said. This isn't a horror movie. But Sara couldn't ignore the mounting unease. When she ventured into the forest where Lucy had reportedly hiked in the days before her disappearance, she found a clearing, hidden deep and surrounded by pine, and in it an altar, a rough stone slab smeared with something dark. Around it, faint symbols arranged like a ritual circle. Nearby, she found Lucy's necklace, a delicate silver charm she never took off. The ground told its own story. Fresh footprints, drag marks, and a cover-up attempt with pine needles. Lucy hadn't left. She had been taken. Sara returned to town with a renewed determination. She stormed in the church, rifled through sealed basement boxes, and unearthed a history no one wanted to see. A secret pact, a town ritual. An ancient fear passed down and hidden behind stained glass windows. The names of the missing, the pattern, and the most damning. Notes signed by Marlowe's town elders, including the current Mayor Calder and Sheriff Maynard. They had known, and they had chosen Lucy. Sara confronted the mayor in his office, her voice cracking with rage. You fed her to this thing, she spat. To protect yourselves, to protect this town. Mayor Calder looked tired, like a man who'd carried a sick secret too long. It was never personal. It was survival. We've kept Marlowe safe for over a century. One life, he said, to keep the blight away. But Lucy was still alive. Sara knew there was still time. Armed and backed by state investigators, she returned to the forest that night. Her gut told her they hadn't killed Lucy yet, not until the equinox itself. She found a trapdoor buried beneath the altar, leading to a chamber lit with torches. There, in the flickering dark, hooded figures gathered. And in the center, barely conscious, bound and pale, was Lucy. Sara, move fast. The cultists fled as the officers stormed the chamber. One figure tried to run and was tackled. When the hood was pulled back, Sara gasped. It was Sheriff Maynard. Everything he had dismissed, he had known. Lucy was rescued. She was shaken, dehydrated, and broken, but alive. As the truth unraveled, so did Marlowe's illusion of peace. The council was dismantled. Arrests were made. The forest altar was demolished, burned to the ground. And Lucy, with tearful eyes, packed a bag and left the town behind forever. Sara watched her go, standing at the edge of the woods, heart heavy with the knowledge that evil hadn't come from monsters in the trees, but from neighbors, from friends, from those entrusted to protect. The hollowing had claimed at least 6 victims before the town secret was exposed. While the official story remains buried in bureaucracy, Lucy Harper's disappearance and survival became a whisper of justice in a town long haunted by silence. Sara never left Marlowe. She walks the woods now and then just to be sure. The town is quieter these days, but the trees they still remember. Sara never left Marlowe. She walks the woods now and then, just to be sure. The town is quieter these days, but the trees they still remember.